I've been modifying Focuses for the last 15 years, so I'm pretty familiar with the formula for how to make them just a little bit more fun. Lowering them, putting a nice set of wheels on, a set of grippy tires, and good brakes is the secret recipe to these cars. And that's really all I've known. I haven't branched outside of that world. Until I got this. I've actually been playing in the dirt since I was young, but not on trucks, but on ATVs. My friend and I decided to try and take up some soft-roading to try and break up the monotony of the COVID years, and are now just starting to graduate to a little bit more advanced things. We discovered pretty quickly that the Ranger is a pretty capable rig right out of the box, but there are a few limiting factors that keep this thing from keeping up with its Japanese cousin, the Toyota Tacoma. A big one is tires, which I've already upgraded from the stock 30-inch Bridgestone all-terrains to a set of factory Bronco Black Diamond wheels with the 32-inch General Grabber all-terrains. Another one, which I'll be tackling today, is suspension. While I'm not expecting miracles, I was given these stock low-mileage FX4 shocks for free, so I'll be installing those just to see how much of a difference it makes over the factory XLT shocks. I'm not sure what this will do, but any small improvement I can make to its off-road performance is something I'm willing to try, even if all it cost me was my time. Using my handy torque amplification device, also known as a jack handle, and we'll see if we can't get this to come off here. Oh, like butter. Actually, that was like concerningly loose. So, to make sure that that is tighter than it was, or look up the torque specs, because man, that really did not take a lot of effort. We were off-roading, so I kind of do wonder if maybe some of these bolts got rattled loose from when we were off-roading. Alright, so now we're just on to that one up there, which I'm not going to be able to film super well, so I'll get that knocked out and then we'll go ahead and get the shock out. Alright, we got the top bolt out. So now, just get this bottom one out. Kind of like that, and we're good. So, now we can actually take a look at the differences here, because I actually don't know. So, there's the differences in shock. So, according to the forums, these are really not all that much of an upgrade, and actually looking at the part numbers, they are not exactly the same. Okay. So yeah, that was easy. We'll get this other shock in here and we'll see what happens. Alright, so when you're doing this too, you want to make sure that they go in the same way that they came out. So this goes up, this side goes down. Also, something I noticed is one of these came out, and this has got actual flat spots on it, so this needs to go a certain way too. And of course it fell out before I could really look at it, so I'm gonna have to look at the other side and see exactly how this goes. In fact, let's take a look over here on this side. Aha! So it just slots in, so it holds it in place. Alright, cool. That's not too bad then. It's actually kind of nice. You don't actually need a wrench for that. Of course it would make things easier, but you don't have to have one, which is good because I didn't grab one. Slot it in. Alright, cool. Yep, that only goes one way. Alright, here we go. Whoops, too far. Alright, I'll just put a bolt through here. These bolts the same size, they are. Obviously another thing you want to make sure you do correctly is put the bolts back where they're supposed to go. Thankfully these are kind of all the same size, so it doesn't super matter, but of course you want to do things the correct way. Alright, I'll just get this started so it doesn't fall on my face. And then I'll get to see my ugly mug. Oh, I miscalculated. There we go. Oh, I just don't have enough hands for it. And I'm losing my hat. Alright, hat, you can stay down there. So yeah, you can see it slots into place up there, but of course I need a hand to hold it in place until it starts getting threaded, and a hand to screw it in. Oh, right, alright. We are back again. Alright, well, I forgot to press record, but it's in. We're all tight. We're all tied up there. And that was pretty easy. About 10 minutes if I wasn't recording. Would have taken me about 10 minutes or so to get that out. So we'll go ahead and move on to the other side. So again, we'll use my absolutely 100% professional torque amplification device, also known as a Harbor Freight Jack handle. And like butter. Again, very loose. I think it shouldn't have been that loose, but maybe that's within spec. Alright, we're putting you on pause again so I can undo this top one. Oh, yep. This is where power tools would come in handy. But, of course, I don't have any on hand that would reach this far anyways, so... Man, you'd think with all this space that it would be easy to get, but it's the height, and I'm already vertically challenged, to put it politely. So everything is just so far out of reach. Alright, I gotta pause and think of a different way to get to this side, because you can tell on this side it's on the outside of the axle, but on this side it's on the inside of the axle, so it makes it just ever so slightly more difficult to get to. So let me pause and figure this out. Alright, well, she is out, and as you can see, this is my new home. This is how I had to get that one out, and also, as you can see, I am very, very sweaty. It's hot out here. It's like 92, 93, something like that. Very humid, and no wind, which is odd for Texas, you know, known for its windy days, and it is completely still out here, so I am sweating. So we'll get this in, and then I think I'm gonna go take a little bit of a break before I put the front spacers on. Here we go. Did that bolt stay up there? It did. Uh-oh, except now it fell. Where did it fall to? Oh, of course it fell inside here, and I can't get to it. Great. Love it. I love when that happens. stuff like this when working on cars. That just makes an easy thing turn difficult very quickly. Oh man, yeah, and I can't even get to it from this side either. Oh wait, yes I can. No, I can't.
Alright, we'll have to figure this out. I love it.
So, you can kind of see in there, that's where the bolt is supposed to go, and it fell between that mount and the frame. And it's like here. So, alright, here we go. Alright, we have success. Thanks to my roommate, I didn't see this little slot here. So, that was easy. Cool. I'm used to working on the Focuses where there's some stupid engineering thing that they did and something falls inside there and it's just gone forever. So nice to see that either they've learned their lesson or it was unintentional. Either way, thanks Ford. Alright, back in the home to get this last shock in, and we should be done with the rears. And I think I'm going to wait on the fronts because it is really hot outside today. Alright, we'll do what we did before. Get that old shock out of here. Alright, slot it back in. There we go. And here we are. Nice and tight. Alright, nice and tight. Alright, well that wasn't too bad, honestly. I mean, it was 2 bolts. Like most things automotive, the only thing that really made it difficult was just the lack of, well, it wasn't even the lack of space on this, it was just that things were too far away, and, you know, for somebody who's a little vertically challenged, it just makes things a little bit more difficult. So we'll get the truck back on the ground and we'll go for a, well, we'll go wash up here because I'm pretty dirty, and then we'll go for a quick test drive. So yeah, now that I hit that bump, kind of as I suspected, not radically different, but noticeable different. I wouldn't necessarily say better or worse per se, but noticeable. And especially because I have the 4-wheel drive non-FX4 package XLT trims, the Sport specifically. So the shocks I think are already valved a little bit on the softer side anyways. So having something that's a little bit, it almost feels a little bit stiffer back there, actually kind of feels nice, because it always did feel a little squishy. when I would go over bumps, the back end would kind of wobble, which just could be the fact that my shocks were old. I mean, 38,000 miles on this thing already. And I've used it to tow a couple of times, long distances. So it could just be that the shocks were blown, and you know, now I've got basically low mileage new shocks in there again. The real test will be when we go back to the off-road park, and we'll see what difference it's made there. Again, it's not radically different, it's noticeable, but it also could just be because I know that they're back there, that I'm expecting a difference. So I'm kind of reacting to the fact that I know that there's something back there. And I'm driving on the side of the edge of the road here just a little bit, just to see. Might even have my roommate take it for a quick rip around the block and see if he notices. It's noticeable, but it's not that much different.